coming up, there's a question. Could you be a surrogate mom for someone you've only known for a short time? It's a good idea or a bad idea. And this next woman wants to have a baby for her coworker, but her husband thinks it's a terrible idea. Should she do it anyway? I'll tell you what I think when we come back.
My husband Brian and I have a dilemma. I would like to carry a baby for a friend of mine, and he is totally against it.
I thought it was a crazy idea.
His reaction was, hell no.
Closed captioning provides. Now, my next guest is Nicole, and she says that she wants to be a gestational surrogate for a coworker. She says she'd have no problem going through a pregnancy for an infertile couple and then give them the baby. But her husband says not just no, but hell no. He's dead set against this. Take a look.
I know what it's like to have babies. It's a wonderful feeling. And I couldn't imagine not being able to do it. Cool. I have 2 children, and I'm very content with my family. Now I would like to carry a baby for a friend of mine who couldn't have children.
I thought it was a crazy idea. Nicole has only known this lady for a couple years. I might feel a little bit better if I knew the people, but I've never even met them.
We've never been good at communicating. I thought the best idea to get through to him would be write down why I wanted to do it, and I asked him to do the same.
There are a lot of things that could go wrong.
He had 27 different reasons why he did not want me to do a surrogacy.
What happens if the parents got into a freak automobile accident or something and were killed, we would be stuck with the child. If the child was mentally retarded, say she had a miscarriage, she becomes bedridden and then can't work, divorce.
I think the best gift in the world is to be able to hand somebody their own biological child.
And even though biologically it's not hers, you still become attached to it. It's just the way it is.
He thinks my children will be scarred from this. I told my kids, and my daughter was very excited. Remember you told me that you knew what in vitro fertilization was?
Yeah.
My son didn't really understand the whole in vitro process. He knows the baby wouldn't come home with us. And you're okay with that?
Yes.
You don't want any more babies in the house?
No.
My husband has never been approving of big changes in our lives. Having a second child was a big issue. He was content with only the 1 child that we had. And finally, I just had to say, I'm going off the pill, honey. I just cannot convince my husband that this is a good idea.
My #1 concern about Nicole being a surrogate mother is at the end of the 9 months, simply giving the child away. That's the big one.
He thinks I will be emotionally scarred from the whole experience. I do not think I will have a problem letting go. But I need his 100% support in order to go through with this.
How do I go to sleep and here's somebody's unborn child laying next to me, having a 9-pound bowling ball in her stomach? I told her 1-800, call Dr. Phil. And she did.
Dr. Phil, I want to carry a baby for another couple. How can I get my husband to understand that I am not crazy for wanting to be a surrogate mother?
Well, I can clear that up. She's not crazy for wanting to be a surrogate mother. That doesn't mean you should do this, but I don't think it's crazy to want to give this gift to someone that can't do it. I think that's a noble thing to want to do, but don't you think this is a joint decision?
Yeah, I agree that it's a joint decision, and that's...
Well, but do you, or do you think it's my body, and if that's my final decision, I'll make it?
No. Initially, I was very defensive that way because he never likes anything that we do, major decisions that we have to make in our lives. And usually those major decisions end up being, I just have to go and do it. This is a little different, though. That's why we're here, is because I don't want to make this decision on my own. I want him to support me and to be able to accept what I want to do.
Well, do you think some of his concerns are valid?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
Because I have some you haven't even thought of. But there are negatives here. Now, first off, you said, and I quote, I desperately want to help these people.
Yeah.
You remember saying that?
Yeah.
You don't even know them. They're just, she's a coworker. Exactly. You've never even met them. Why do you desperately want to help them?
I guess that was just out of emotion. I think it's such a wonderful thing to do. She doesn't have anybody else around her that could do it for her. I don't know, I guess it just seemed right to me.
I agree, you know, go ahead and do this, even though deep down inside I really don't want her to. You know, that I'm going to feel, you know, for the rest of my life, oh, I shouldn't have, you know, have her do that. Or if I straight up tell her no, she's going to resent me forever.
Which is what I'm saying. I think if he tells me to go ahead and do it, that he's going to resent me.
I mean, I guess on its face, the fact that it has the potential of creating pain and discord within your own happy family, the fact that you're really interested in pursuing that on its face is kind of a warning sign to me. You know, you're asking my opinion. I'm just saying, if you say, I do think it should be a joint decision, my husband has some concerns about it that I acknowledge some of are very legitimate, but I want to do it anyway. And have you thought about what if some of the negatives in fact come true?
Yeah.
For example, you said, what if the couple gets killed in a car wreck?
Yeah,
What are the chances of that? Very low.
Very low, yeah.
Right.
Very low, but we do have a 50% divorce rate in America. Now, what if in the next 9 months, those two just get at odds with each other and wind up getting a divorce? And it comes time to deliver, and they both say, I don't want to be a single parent. Over half of the disputes involved with surrogacy are that the intended parents walk away and do not accept the baby.
Yeah, I've thought of that, although, like I said, we really haven't gotten to an agreeable point to where we can actually pursue it any farther. We're stuck at this acceptance point.
Okay,
And-
well, all right, let's take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I got some more questions for you to see if you've really weighed this out. All right, so when we come back, Nicole says her 2 children are fine with her decision to be a surrogate, but do they really understand what's going on, and should they even be involved in the process? I'll tell you all that when I come back.
If Nicole becomes a surrogate mother, I don't see how she could possibly carry a child for 9 months and just give it away.
My husband thinks my children will be scarred from this because they won't be able to understand that the baby's not coming home with us. I was done having my own children, and I wanted to help my friend. She would have miscarried if she was even able to get pregnant to begin with. I felt bad because I know what it's like to have children. It's a wonderful gift.
Nicole loves having a family so much, she wants to help another couple achieve that dream by being a gestational surrogate for them. Now, her husband gave her a list of 27 reasons that he thinks this is a bad idea. He also told her to write to me to see what I think about it. And what I think about it is just there are some questions that I want to hear your thoughts to, because I think if you know the right questions, you can sometimes find the ultimate answer. Have you considered that these people that, you know, there could be as much as a 50-50 chance that they're going to get a divorce between now and then?
I guess that's not something that I really thought about.
Do you know anything about the stability of their relationship?
Yeah, somewhat. See, like I said, I don't know them
Sounds like a big no
like
to
a
me.
best friend.
Yeah, somewhat.
I don't know them like I would know my best friend.
Well, so
but-
you don't really know whether they have a solid, stable marriage or not.
No, I guess I don't.
Do you know what kind of parental legacy each of them grew up with? Do you know, are you going to be bringing a child into some warped couple with a history of abuse in their background, or a wonderful, loving, father knows best? I mean, do you...
Those are things I guess I just, you know, never really thought about.
Never thought
Never got
about
that, yeah, never really got that deep into their background yet, like I said, because I was trying to get him to accept the idea first.
Well, do you think those are
So-
valid questions?
Yes,
that
definitely.
you want to qualify someone for whom you would be a
Definitely.
surrogate? Have you thought about, you know, that you say they're going to cover your medical bills,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and how about your wardrobe?
Yes, they planned on paying for anything that has to do with
All
the
right, let's
pregnancy.
assume that at the end of the first trimester, you begin to have complications and the doctor says, you need to be in bed from now till the end of this pregnancy or it's not going to work. Who's going to make up your salary?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that yet. like I said, it just never got that far. We got stuck at hell no, basically.
You guys come to me kind of as a mediator in this thing, and so I'm just saying, okay, I want to know if you've done your homework on this. Do you know these people? Do you know their background? Do you know the stability? Do you know their financial wherewithal? If you have to be in bed for 4 or 5 months, which you've had back problems before when you had a pregnancy, is it possible that you're making a decision that could put your family in harm's way because of complications that could happen with you and therefore damage the mom in this family, financial disaster that could come, and they could turn around and walk off from you and say, I don't think we're prepared to take this baby. And that happens a lot in your state.
Really?
Yes, really.
I'm glad you said that, because no, I did.
I'm
I had
glad
no
I
idea.
did too. Apparently nobody else has brought these things up. Sometimes these feel-good decisions about just being, you know, I just want to give the gift of life to some wonderful people. I don't mean to mock that, but they may not be wonderful people. I'm not saying they aren't. I don't know them. I don't know their names, don't know anything about them. So if you're watching, this isn't about you. I mean, you could be Mary Poppins. I don't know. But you don't either. And before you get into this kind of deal, I don't even think you are even almost sort of kind of maybe close to thinking about making this sort of decision. I think you need to ask a lot of questions before you do. And if you then find out that, well, logistically this situation could work, then I think it's time to sit down and talk with your husband and make a determination as to whether or not this is a gift the two of you want to give, a sacrifice the two of you want to make. And I wouldn't involve the children in this at this point. I mean, I think you should not ask children to deal with adult issues. And they just don't. I think you need to do a whole lot of homework. Am I against surrogacy? I am not against surrogacy under the right conditions. And I just don't think you know whether those exist here or not. And so my advice is to absolutely not go forward with this unless and until you have the answer to just even the few questions I ask, and I got a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And they don't get any better. All right? I'm not against surrogacy. I'm not. Don't write me. I'm not. But you've got to do your homework first. All right, coming up, she's a ballet teacher with 2 boys, but she's always wanted a little girl to put in a tutu. Now, she's ready to turn to science to make her wish come true. She wants to know if she should choose the sex of her next baby. It is possible. I'll tell you what I think next.
I just